hold on, sorry. We got a little bit of a connection problem here. Okay. There we go. Maybe. Happy Friday anyways, guys. Let's hope this works. Here we go. Okay. So, maybe not. We'll try. We'll see what happens if that catches up with us. Anyways, so we've been doing a couple of attorney features. So today for our live, I have our third attorney. So we've talked to Dan and Alexis already, and this is Jimmy.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, yeah, welcome. So I just have a couple questions just so we can kind of get to know you more, and I think it helps our clients, like we're all people, get to know you kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we're going to keep doing these kinds of get to know the team. So we started with our attorneys, and then we're going to continue this kind of series with the rest of our team. So to jump right in here, what did you do before you worked at Right Law Group?
So as an attorney, I've worked in a couple different places. I started out at a local firm here in Colorado Springs doing personal injury work, mostly car crashes, slip and falls, negligence types of cases. So I did that for a couple of years before I moved over to the district attorney's office here in El Paso County. Before I did the personal injury stuff, I clerked at district attorney's office in Los Angeles County. So kind of got my feet wet in terms of law practice doing that side of things. So when an opportunity opened up at the local DA's office, I moved over to the criminal side of things. At the DA's office here, I was there for close to eight years. Spent about a year in county court doing lower level misdemeanors, DUIs, lots of those kind of cases, and then spent the majority of my time doing felony cases in district court. So in district court, I did a ton of different types of cases, handled robberies, bank robberies, what we call pattern robberies, where somebody goes and hits a lot of stores or convenience stores, those sorts of things. I handled cases involving serious assaults where deadly weapons were involved or bad injuries resulted. I spent almost 2 years in their special victims unit, which handled cases with serious child abuse cases, adult and child sex assault types of cases. And then after that, started doing more cases with the vehicular homicide team that they have there. Mm-hmm. So locally, when there's a bad crash and injuries or bad injuries involved or death, they'll send out a DA who goes out on call. So I went out on a lot of those and actually led the team that went out on those calls. So did a lot of those types of cases, and then also handled everything all the way up to homicides. Have about 3 homicide trials that I handled while I was at the DA's office. So did everything.
Yeah,
as a
good
criminal
variety.
prosecutor. Yeah, absolutely.
So you know your stuff, so
Yeah.
it's good to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, cool. Yeah, it's good to know. Yeah, you have the knowledge, the experience behind there. So definitely handling our cases pretty well here. So kind of along the lines of, working here, being our attorney, so I asked Alexis and I asked Dan this, so I'm going to ask you as well, what is something that you wish people knew before hiring an attorney? Because a lot of people, it's their first time, especially here, we have a lot of first time. What do you wish people knew before hiring an attorney? Specifically us, but yeah, an attorney in general.
I think that question is good when you talk about specifically Right Law. The one thing that I would love for people to know about us, even at the outset during initial conversations, is that we really do have a team approach. And I'm not sure what Alexis talked about or what Dan talked about, but I think that they would both agree with me that even beyond the attorneys here at Right Law, there really is a great staff that works alongside with the attorneys here. That's one of the benefits to going with Right Law. And so when new clients call and want to ask those questions about, well, why should I hire you guys as opposed to somebody else? One of the answers that I give most often is because you get the team here. Paralegals and client relation folks. Oftentimes we have interns, legal interns who are working alongside of us to review discovery, to watch body-worn camera with us, to organize case files, those sorts of things, to always be available to clients. Our attorneys are trial attorneys, so we're always in court. We're always in a courthouse, and so if somebody calls and has an urgent question, one of the benefits is that there are a lot of other team members here who can help answer those questions when maybe the attorney is in front of a judge or something. So that's one thing that I would say that I really would like our clients to know, is that up front, you really do get the team. It's kind of all hands on deck here at Right Law.
Yeah, we were just talking about this in our meeting yesterday. We had a meeting that, you know, a lot of other firms, it's like a one-man show, or it's like an attorney and one other person or something. But yeah, we definitely have that well-oiled machine. That's why we do our training, so we can give you guys the best support. So yeah, that's great. So a little more fun, more get to know you just as a person outside of being an attorney. Where are you from?
Born and raised in Colorado.
Awesome.
So yeah, I went to high school in Lakewood up in Denver. After that, did my undergraduate degree at CU Boulder. So spent 4 years in Boulder. After that, I worked for a couple of years doing some different things in Denver before I decided that I wanted to go to law school, and went to law school in Malibu, California at Pepperdine Law. But really liked Los Angeles. Didn't mind being in Malibu for a few years during law school. But when it was time to decide where I wanted to practice, where I wanted to start my career, it was a pretty easy decision to come back to Colorado. Born and raised, lots of family all across the Front Range, from Denver down to Pueblo. So Colorado's home. I really like being a part of this community, and really like helping clients that are in my community.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it ties right into the next question here is, what's your favorite part about living and working in Colorado? I mean, this area, but just like in general,
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Colorado is no longer a surprise or a hidden gem. I think the secret's out. Colorado is wonderful.
Yeah.
If you guys could see the view that we've got outside the window just behind us.
I have to take a picture and upload it.
Yeah, it's Pikes Peak. It's America's mountain. Some people know the song America the Beautiful, right?
Yep.
That's the song was written by somebody who was standing on top of that peak looking out over our city.
Yeah.
So Colorado's wonderful. It's gorgeous. So it's really, that's probably the biggest thing. It's a great state.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah, it's a great place. It's a great state to live in.
Yeah.
I enjoy being outdoors, camping, fishing. For a while there, before things got really ramped up at the DA's office when I was there, I was doing a lot of 14ers. So I've done about 18 of Colorado's 14ers. Really enjoy doing that. Yeah. They're difficult sometimes, but they're very fun. Very rewarding to be on a mountain like that. And then like I said, my family all over the Front Range. So that's probably one of the biggest reasons I love being back in Colorado and working here.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I was like, it helps that, you know, most of us here, you know, we work and live in the community that we're serving. So I think that's a huge deal. Yeah. Especially since you grew up here.
Yeah.
So that was just kind of like the get to know you. I don't know if there's anything else you want to share.
Well, you know,
I mean, in a nutshell.
No, that's a lot about me.
Yeah.
Undergrad in Boulder, born and raised here. I think having just kind of started very recently at Right Law, where we see this firm going, is just building on the great foundations that have been laid. Alexis, as our founding attorney, has done an amazing job of putting great building blocks in place, hiring great associates, great team members from paralegals, even down to the interns. We're starting to get repeat interns from law schools in the region who have heard about our program and are sending their friends. And there are really some great building blocks here. And the goal for the future is just to continue to build on the great foundation. Yeah. I think Alexis would say, and I think Dan, our other attorney, would echo that the idea here is to just continue to provide excellent and ethical defense representation to people in our region. I'm sure you folks know that we represent not only people in Colorado Springs, but down in southern Colorado as well, Fremont County, Pueblo County, Teller County to the west of us. So we have, our reach is pretty wide, and again, we just want to be excellent defense attorneys and ethical defense attorneys. Ultimately, we just want to help our clients. We all understand that even good people have bad days. Yeah. That it just happens, and so we're ready, we're here, we want to help, we want to partner with you to get you back on the right track.
Yeah, that's a huge part of why we're doing these lives. You know, right now we're getting to know the attorneys and the rest of the team, but this really started as getting the information out there. Like you said, we want to be ethical. We want to tell you how we practice. There's no surprises here that, you know, we do anything. We let you know straight up what we're doing, and definitely just like the information on the cases, because like, you know, we said, good people have bad days, and when it's your first offense and you don't know what's happening, this is a great tool, just kind of what we've been doing here. So, so like I said, we're going to keep these going, just so you can kind of get to know our team. So next week, we're going to have Shell. She's going to be here for a little interview. So she's our firm administrator and paralegal. If you've worked with us, you've probably talked to her a couple of times. But yeah, she's a huge part of this, you know, well-oiled machine here too. So we're going to get to talking to her a little bit as well. And then just another reminder, while you're watching, or if you think of something when you go back and watch these, if you have any questions or want to know about specific cases that we haven't covered, or you want us to go back and explain something more, you can message us on here, or you can either you can email us. Our email is letstalk@rightlawgroup.com. So like we said, there's people responding to these messages all the time. We got people around the clock. I'm on our social media as well, so I'll see your messages. But thanks so much for doing this, sitting down, joining us. I think it's good to get to know the team and who's supporting you guys. So
absolutely, thanks. Yeah. Thanks everybody out there that's watching.
Yeah, make good choices, guys, and have a good weekend. Happy
Bye,
Friday.
everybody.